Reaction to Barbados' threat to withdraw from the CCG, and in sport, a prediction that West Indies will win their series against Sri Lanka next month. I'm Ricardo Robertson. This is Caribbean in 10 for Monday, May 22nd. I'll be back with the details after the break.
You know, it's difficult. I know. I mean, knowing the game of cricket is difficult for any player, for that matter, to emerge in from a series and a situation like that. I think overall, the players can only be better for the experience. I thought probably players like Kimo Paul did probably himself some justice.
I'm Dustin, owner of Nice Brewing Company, and we welcome the Mad Fisherman, Charlie Moore.
Nice brewery. My first reaction, not what I was expecting. It's kind of like a full-fledged brewery on a farm.
Before we do any type of brewing here at the Nice Brewing Company, apparently we have to feed the pigs.
Like I said, we're brewing beer on a farm in Limerick, Maine.
It doesn't make any sense at all to me. What the hell are we doing?
Just talk. That's what a senior lawyer in Trinidad and Tobago feels about the Barbados Prime Minister's threat to leave the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ, if his party is returned to government in Thursday's elections. Speaking at a political meeting over the weekend, Frondell Stewart said a DLP government would withdraw from the CCJ as the country's final appeal court. He claimed Barbados was being disrespected by the court and that the attitude towards Bridgetown left much to be desired. Stewart insisted that his position had nothing to do with the CCJ's recent decisions against Barbados. But speaking on CNC3's Morning Brew program in the Twin Island Republic, where the court is based, senior counsel Israel Khan said he believes that's exactly why the Prime Minister is upset.
Barbados is just peeved. The present government is just peeved that the Caribbean Court of Justice gave a few decisions against that particular government, and I think it's just a statement on our political platform. It will be almost impossible for Barbados to turn back now. They will have to have the necessary majority in Parliament to do such a thing. And I think, and the judges of the Privy Council really, they are suggesting that we go away. They're suggesting that we handle our own affairs. It's only people who suffer with an inferiority complex, lawyers and judges, and the people who suffer with an inferiority complex want to go with hat in hand back to our enslavers and colonial masters and ask them to interpret our laws. It's an inferiority complex.
In Guyana now, a High Court judge has halted the trial of former Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh, who is accused of illegally selling state land. Justice Franklin Holder granted the stay of proceedings in the criminal charges pending against Singh, as well as former Chief Executive Officer of the National Industrial and Commercial Investment Limited, Winston Brassington, until a hearing and determination of the challenge filed by their lawyer. Now, the two were jointly charged by the Special Organized Crime Unit following investigations into the sale of 3 plots of state land. They are accused of illegally selling the property for more than 900 million Guyana dollars. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, says Grenada's economy grew by 4.5% last year. In a report released on Monday, the IMF said growth was driven by strong activity in the construction, tourism, and education sectors. But it said weather-related weaknesses in agriculture have been a headwind. The Washington-based funding agency said while unemployment was falling, it still was considered high, 23.6%, while inflation is low, falling below 1%. The 2017 current account deficit increased by 3.5 percentage points of gross domestic product to 6.75%, reflecting rapid import growth. Now, the IMF said the fiscal situation improved further in 2017, with the government overperforming the targets of the Fiscal Responsibility Law. However, a shortfall in the grant financing and bottlenecks in execution combined to keep capital outlays well below budgeted levels. Public debt fell to 71% of GDP, reflecting the strong fiscal position, the completion of the final phase of bond restructuring, and the lowering of interest costs from restructuring some of the expensive domestic debt. Now, the IMF said that in 2018 and 2019, the economy is projected to grow by 3.5%, benefiting from supportive global economic conditions, continued strength in construction, and a tourism sector that has shown itself to be competitive within the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next. Welcome back. It's now time for sport. A cricket commentator is predicting a series victory for the Windies when they take on Sri Lanka from June 6th to the 27th. At the same time, Colin Murray feels there is a need for the side to play more Test cricket. TV6's Vinod Nawani has that story.
Three-game Test series between the Windies and Sri Lanka was being changed to a two-match contest because of financial reasons. Cricket analyst Colin Murray is relieved that such is no longer the case. He says red ball cricket is something that the connoisseurs in the Caribbean have been missing badly.
We need more Test cricket. All around the world, Test cricket is flourishing. I mean, England are getting ready to play a series against Pakistan, and some of the guys flew back from the IPL to play in that series. So Test cricket is flourishing. The unfortunate thing is, because the West Indies are not doing well at Test level in the Caribbean, the crowds are just not coming out to the games.
Even though Murray knows that the Windies are struggling, he's giving them the edge against their opponents, saying that the Sri Lankans are usually vulnerable away from home.
You know, once the West Indies prepare themselves well, and you know, the bigger players click, the Hopes and the Chase and these guys, I'm hoping they click. And once they click, I think we do well. When I say well, I certainly don't think Sri Lanka is going to win the series. I really don't. I think it's either going to be a drawn series or West Indies going to win the series, funnily enough. And it's only because we're at home.
Show jumper Kiwan Miners will represent Bermuda at this summer Central American and Caribbean Games in Barranquilla, Colombia. The announcement was made by the Bermuda Equestrian Federation over the weekend. Miners is based in Wellington, Florida, and trains with multiple professionals, including Mavis Spencer, Darren Grisano, and Victor Segovia. He will partner Just Ask Eric, a 17-hand bay gelding. The CSC Games will mark this team's first time representing Bermuda on the international stage at this level of competition. The show jumping contest will consist of a maximum of 40 riders with a total of 8 teams and 8 individuals. That's Caribbean at 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.